Joe Judge was asked about analytics, and he gave one of the worst answers I've ever heard. He said that analytics is, quote, just a tool, which it is. But he went on to say, you can look at the stat sheet all you want. I promise you, if Excel was going to win football games, Bill Gates would be killing it right now. But you've got to take those numbers. So first of all, I want it to be known, Bill Gates is killing it. He's got $129 billion to his name, Joe. So, I don't know. That point right there, non-starter right there, my guy. I don't know what you're trying to get to there. Bill Gates is definitely killing it. Number two, Joe Judge said that analytics, you can look at the stat sheet all you want, but it's not going to win you football games. There's a lot of teams who use analytics. And look, one thing is true. Analytics won't win you football games, but I'll tell you this. Joe Judge ain't winning you football games either. As the head coach of the New York Football Giants, Joe Judge is 6-13, including 0-3 to start this year, which this year was supposed to be a pivotal year for the New York Giants. They have their quarterback. This is the third or fourth year you have your quarterback now. You seem to be building this team. You've been trying to build this offensive line for the past 3 years. And apparently, you haven't been able to do that because you guys suck. So the team sucks. You guys are in these close games and you can't finish. So Joe Judge can say that analytics don't win football games, and I'll agree with this. I will say this: if your entire game plan is 100% based around analytics all the time, then yeah, that's not going to win you football games by itself. But analytics plus the talent plus the understanding of situations, that's going to win you football games. That's been proven. Look at the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens are one of the most analytical football franchises there are right now. They understand analytics. They use it. John Harbaugh, the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, refers to it more than any other coach. They refer to the stat sheet. They refer to what works in certain situations for them, what doesn't work for certain situations for their offense. And they're at the forefront, honestly, of the league in a lot of that kind of stuff. And they know when they're going to go for it, when not to. Now, that doesn't mean if your team is doing really well in a situation where you think you're going to go for it, that doesn't mean you don't go for it. You're going to go for it in those situations. But Joe Judge out here is judging analytics, and he's taking this stance against analytics. These comments are 100% foul by someone like Joe Judge, because if he was winning, he might have a leg to stand on because the analytics, apparently, he doesn't use them and they're not hurting the team. But being the head coach of the New York Football Giants, apparently he's hurting this team because he can't get them to win. They're in these close games, game after game after game, and he is not helping them finish. Does that also involve the talent on the team? Absolutely. The team is not as talented as many other teams there are out there in the NFL. But Joe Judge also isn't a good head coach. And I think we know that. Because good head coaches, you know what they do? They rally their team to wins. And Joe Judge doesn't do that. And maybe, who knows, maybe the Giants could use some analytics. Maybe they could use some analytics. Maybe they should look at the stat sheet. Maybe they should look at how Joe Judge, who comes over as a Bill Belichick assistant. All these Bill Belichick assistants getting head coaching jobs, by the way. The only one that's really worked out that I can think of is Brian Flores down in Miami. And even then, he's only like 2 years in. So we'll see what happens with him. But he's the only one I can think of that's actually worked out. You go through the rest of them. Matt Patricia, burned out. Even Romeo Crennel, who's a great coordinator, not good head coach. You go to Eric Mangini, good coordinator, bad head coach. Josh McDaniels, great coordinator, bad head coach. Joe Judge, I think he's a special teams coordinator. I'm sure he was a great coordinator. He's a bad head coach, though. He's a bad head coach. He doesn't want to look at analytics. Yeah, sure, Joe, don't look at analytics. I'm telling you, man, they could probably use some analytics up in New York. It's not going to hurt you at this point because you're already doing everything else wrong. This team has done everything else wrong for the past 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Ever since they had that playoff disaster in 2016. Ever since then, this team has just been on a downhill spiral. They had the opportunity to fix it, and they haven't. Joe Judge comes over as a Bill Belichick assistant, and people think, oh, he's going to give us a year. He's going to be the next best thing. We gave him a year, go 6-10, somehow one game out of the playoffs. Okay, Giants fans still going to complain about not making the playoffs because that's what they do. All they do is complain. Even though you won 6 games, win one more goddamn game. But okay, let's see what he does the next year. Starts off 0-3. Now, I'm not calling for him to be fired. Like, I want to make that clear. I'm not calling for Joe Judge to be fired, but who the hell is Joe Judge to judge people who use analytics? Who the hell is Joe Judge to say that analytics don't win football games? Because I'll tell you this, Joe, they win more games than you do. And look, I'll say this. The use of analytics in sports, it is a tool. It is 100% a tool, and I'll agree with him to this extent. You can't use analytics and just analytics and solely rely on that. But analytics combined with experience, combined with knowing what to do in certain situations, combined with great play calling, combined with great coaching, combined with talent, analytics helps you tremendously because you already understand these situations in your head, what works and what doesn't work. So the decisions sometimes are automatically made for you. On the flip side, analytics also provide you with, situational tools. They also provide you with the options that work optimally given your situation. So they are a tool that I think you should use. And maybe, who knows, maybe if Joe Judge used those in the first few games, maybe if they knew the situation and they looked at the analytics of running soft coverage in the fourth quarter on the last play on the last drive of the game during that Washington game, maybe they would have won. Maybe throwing screen passes on 3rd and 18 or whatever. Maybe throwing screen passes on 3rd and 18 against a weaker defense. Maybe you don't do that. Maybe if you look at the analytics, I think the analytics could have told you that, Joe. Unbelievable, this guy, Joe Judge, man. Unbelievable, this guy. The gall of him. This guy who hasn't even won 10 games. Fuck 10 games. This guy who doesn't even have, he has over double the amount of losses that he does wins. You don't got a leg to stand on, Joey boy. Not a single one. And look, I like the Giants. Danny Dimes, I don't think is the problem in New York. I think he's just not a franchise quarterback. That's a whole different thing, but he's not the problem in New York. Joe Judge and the culture that the New York Giants have down there definitely is part of the problem. Thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also, remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.